Making Golden Horseshoe homes comfortable for more than 18 years, A+ Air Heating and Air Conditioning continues to push towards excellent standards and quality. The company's forward-thinking philosophy has paid off, now offering a preferred relationship with superior heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system provider, Carrier. These first-class units are available in a price range to fit any budget, and you'll never have to sacrifice quality for price when choosing one. Owned and operated by husband and wife team Natalie and Steve Brogan, A+ Air specializes in the sales, installation, and maintenance of comfort systems for home, commercial, and institutional settings. The company provides expert design and installation of geothermal heating systems, radiant heat and in-floor warming, as well as zoning for complete comfort. Professional and personal, A+ Air Heating and Air Conditioning delivers on its promise to expect more in home comfort.
Take a look. This is Dr. Willis Carrier, the father of cool. His face may not seem familiar, his name may not ring a bell, but 110 years ago, this man invented the world's first mechanical air conditioner.
Willis Carrier had a new idea and dared to dream big, and by doing so, he literally changed the world.
Now, here's a look back.
The story of a company that became the standard of an industry.
At the history of air conditioning on the invention's 110th anniversary, all in 110 seconds. It began with paper at this Brooklyn printing plant in 1902.
Each time they ran the paper through the press to put a new color on, if the paper had shrunk or enlarged because of humidity, the color registry would be off.
From the very beginning, air conditioning had international appeal.
Comfort cooling is important, but the productivity benefits of air conditioning are often underestimated. And air conditioning allows other industries to be possible.
It's really changed the way we've lived.
In the early days, air conditioners primarily cooled machines, not people, from candy manufacturers to textile mills and pharmaceutical labs.
The breakout decade for modern air conditioning was the 1920s, the roaring 20s, because that's when it first made it to offices, to department stores, and to movie theaters. And that has since created for all of us the summer blockbuster.
By 1955, 1 in 22 American homes had some form of air conditioning. Just 5 years later, that number had quadrupled to 1 in 5. Today, 87% of all U.S. households have air conditioning.
If you look beyond the United States to places like Singapore, the Mideast, where there are tropical temperatures, the population there and their global political impact has also been profoundly influenced by air conditioning.
Now, whenever the mercury rises, we push back. And in the new millennium, 110 years after the historic installation of modern air conditioning, the prospects for Willis Carrier's invention have never looked so promising.
It allows us to be productive in our offices. It allows us to be comfortable in our homes. It allows us to be healthy in our hospitals. And so it's a technology that will continue for years and years and years because it enables us to live our lives in ways that we are now accustomed to and would never go back.
Making Golden Horseshoe homes comfortable for more than 18 years, A+ Air Heating and Air Conditioning continues to push towards excellent standards and quality. The company's forward-thinking philosophy has paid off, now offering a preferred relationship with superior heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system provider, Carrier. These first-class units are available in a price range to fit any budget, and you'll never have to sacrifice quality for price when choosing one. Owned and operated by husband and wife team Natalie and Steve Brogan, A+ Air specializes in the sales, installation, and maintenance of comfort systems for home, commercial, and institutional settings. The company provides expert design and installation of geothermal heating systems, radiant heat and in-floor warming, as well as zoning for complete comfort. Professional and personal, A+ Air Heating and Air Conditioning delivers on its promise to expect more in home comfort.
You may have heard about a friend or neighbor having their air ducts cleaned or thought about having it done in your own home. You may have asked, why would I need my air ducts cleaned? The Environmental Protection Agency ranks indoor air quality as one of the top 5 environmental risks to public health, and 87% of American homeowners are not aware that pollution may be worse inside their home than outdoors. These are just a few reasons why air duct cleaning should be a routine part of your home's cleaning and maintenance. Considering most people spend 60 to 90% of their time indoors and children breathe 50% more air per pound than adults, indoor air quality is a major factor in your family's health and safety. With modern homes being more airtight than ever, with little outside ventilation, your ductwork could be a trap for dust mites, pollen, mold, and pet dander. According to studies done by the EPA, indoor air quality is 2 to 5 times worse in the home than outdoors. Having the air ducts in your home cleaned is a simple process with the Rotobrush air duct cleaning equipment. Once you have the ductwork inspected to ensure you need this service, your registers will be removed and cleaned. Next, the supply and trunk lines will be safely cleaned using the vacuum removal method or negative air method. The Rotobrush equipment has HEPA filters that remove 99.97% of particles that have a size of 3 millionths of a meter or larger. After a full system cleaning, the ductwork is disinfected using an antimicrobial treatment that is fogged into your system. Depending on you and your family's sensitivity to dust, pollen, dirt, and pet dander, and the type of air filter you have installed on your system, cleaning intervals will vary. This is why we recommend regular inspection of your ductwork by a professional. Rotobrush International is the world's leading manufacturer of air duct cleaning equipment. We work directly with your local service provider to give them the tools and training they need to clean your home's ductwork. For information on an air duct cleaning specialist in your area, please visit www.rotobrush.com/find-a-contractor.
Now, it's easier than ever to keep your home comfortable with Carrier's Touch and Go, an uncommon, common-sense thermostat that makes controlling your comfort easy with features like one-touch temperature control, ultra-thin design, fast and easy two-wire installation. With 3 simple settings, you can control your comfort with one touch of a button. That also means you don't have to be tied to a time schedule to enjoy energy savings. The permanent memory retention of the Touch and Go allows you to set your preferred temperature for home, away, and sleep. Other features include continuous adjustable backlighting, 24-hour clock backup, a 5-year warranty, and with permanent memory retention, you'll never have to reprogram comfort settings after a power outage. In addition, the Touch and Go is perfect for any retrofit application, offering fast and easy two-wire installation. That means you can enjoy the sleek look and cost-saving comfort of the Touch and Go without the expense and mess of complicated installations. Available in the performance, non-programmable model with temperature and humidity or hybrid heat control. The Touch and Go thermostat. Home comfort with common sense. Only from Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Hi there, I'm Chris Schumacher, and with me today is Dr. John Straub. John, one of the questions that I get a lot from homeowners is, what should I do about humidifying my house in the winter? People are telling me that, you need a humidifier in houses in cold climates. Other people are saying, no, you shouldn't have a humidifier. And then even more difficult than that debate is, well, if you do have a humidifier, what humidity should you be trying to get to?
Wow, so that is actually a big one, and it actually comes from homeowners as much as it does from building officials and architects.
Builders too, yeah.
Builders. And the problem is that, well, it depends. And it depends on whether you have a new house or an old house, an energy efficient house or an energy inefficient house, whether you have a leaky house or a not leaky house, and whether you have a lot of people in the house or a few people in the house. But let's
talk about older houses to start with. So let's say I've got a house from built somewhere in the 50s through to the 70s or 80s. So they're relatively leaky. For energy geeks out there, we do blower door tests on these, and they would typically be a 5 ACH 50, maybe if it's a good one down to 3.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. And that vintage, right? So the reason that matters so much is that, well, if you've got a lot of leakage of outdoor air, in the wintertime outdoor air is dry. Right. If you have a lot of leakage, that dry air means that the house inside gets really dry.
So I've lived in houses where it gets down to like 20%, 15% relative humidity.
Yep.
And a lot of my friends think, well, I wouldn't stand for that. So, let's say that I want a little bit more humidity. Well, in my house, I've got 4 people. So we're not producing enough moisture to overcome what's being lost by that air leakage you talked about. So maybe I decide I'm going to add a humidifier to my house. Now, what do? Am I aiming for 50% RH, or is that too high?
Well, I guess the first 50% is definitely too high. If you're living in a place where the temperature outside is below freezing, that's 32 Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius for anyone trying to keep up. Well, then you probably don't want the humidity to be over even 40% RH in normal houses. If you have triple glazed windows and a really airtight home, yeah, you could do 40% when it's freezing outside.
And why is it that you can't get, or why can't we tolerate humidity conditions that are that high when we don't have triple glazed windows or we don't have as well insulated a building?
Well, one of the things that you may notice from a video is that I have glasses. And so one of my measures of is the humidity too high is that when I walk in from outside, do I get my glasses fogging up? And that tells you that it's cold enough outside that if my glasses, which are cooled to almost outdoor temperatures, see the indoor air, I get condensation. And under those conditions, if any air were to leak out of the house, you would get condensation hidden. It's not just the condensation you would see on your windows. It's much worse that you might be getting condensation hidden in the attic or hidden in your walls, and you'll only know that when your siding falls off or your shingles rot away.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because if I've got a triple glazed window, then I actually have a better window, or even a good double glazed window with low E and argon fills and all these fancy things and thermal breaks. Now, those better windows are less likely to have condensation. So if I'm not seeing condensation on my window, does that mean I'm safe, or is that just hiding a problem somewhere else?
Well, it can be, and that's part of the changing nature of the housing and why the question gets complicated. So a low E argon vinyl framed window will start to show condensation before 40% RH when the temperature is below freezing. And so you'll start noticing that condensation. But a triple glazed window, you probably won't notice it, and yet your walls could be rotting. Hopefully, when people build houses with triple glazed windows, they're also doing much better job of air tightness. They're using exterior insulated sheathing to keep the wood parts of the building warm so condensation doesn't occur.
So let's say that we've built a good new house. And we don't need the humidification because there's enough air tightness that we keep the moisture inside, and we're producing enough moisture with our families and our pets and our washing and cooking and so on. Yeah, plants, good. I mean, if you bring firewood in, that's a big source of moisture. So I've got enough moisture that I don't have to add humidity. But now, actually, it could be like your house. I know that you have a problem with the humidity getting too high.
That's right.
So what can I do to reduce the humidity in that case?
Well, one thing you can do is stop living in the house, and that tends to reduce the humidity pretty quickly.
My wife might not like that.
Yeah, many people don't like that solution. The other solution is to bring some more of that outdoor dry air in. And so that means increase the ventilation. And this goes to the number of people and the activity in the house. So if you have a working professional couple without children, then they may not be in the house for many hours of the day, and therefore they may not produce a lot of moisture. And if on top of it they live in a 4,000 square foot McMansion, then actually they're unlikely to have high humidity problems. But if you have like a student group of 5 or 6 students move into a 1,200 square foot new house,
very common in Waterloo,
and then spend the exam period drinking tea, beer, coffee, and whatever, and studying,
that's a big over.
And have lots of friends over, that's while cooking craft dinner, that's a lot of moisture. And then you'd actually get problems and need more ventilation.
So in an older house where I don't have a lot of moisture production and I have a lot of moisture loss, I might consider adding humidity.
Absolutely.
In a newer house where I've got nice tight conditions and I produce too much moisture for what I'm getting rid of, I want to reduce humidity. So I can add the humidity with a humidifier, I reduce it by ventilation. But let's get to what should we aim for. I've heard you say something like 40% relative humidity if it's below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about what in Celsius?
About 6-7 degrees Celsius.
And then 30% relative humidity maximum if you're below 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around freezing zero.
And those are sort of just rules of thumb based on how people normally build houses. And that's the problem here, is that actually when people, I have routinely had friends, families, and even a few paid customers ask about, I want to increase the humidity in my house because it's too dry. And when they actually measure the humidity in the house, they find out that the humidity isn't low at all. People don't have a very good way of being able to measure humidity themselves. And when they say air is dry, it often means it is musty. It often means there's particulates in the air. And so when they declare it being dry, I had a case at the university where somebody declared it as dry, went to their doctor because their children were bleeding, had nosebleeds and scratchy eyes. The doctor suggested they increase humidity. Student came to me to say, I don't know if this makes sense. I gave them a relative humidity sensor, and the humidity in the house in the middle of February was 50%.
So it was actually the irritants that were in the air as a result of the excess humidity that was causing the symptoms.
And the irritants were there because they didn't have a ventilation system turned on, so they went down into the basement and they switched the HRV from the OFF position to the ON position. And within a week, all the complaints went away.
HRV is a
heat recovery ventilator, a ventilation system that provides a guaranteed supply of air without paying a big energy
So
bill.
we try to capture some of the heat in the air that we're exhausting and put it into the heat in the air that's coming in. Okay. So you mentioned about measuring. So can people get their own devices to measure relative humidity?
There are lots of them out there now.
Where would they go?
Well, for example, there's like La Crosse has these weather stations that measure humidity in and out. You know, for $50 you get a beautiful LCD screen. But you can also go to the Source or Radio Shack and buy a hygrometer, is what they're called.
Hygrometer, okay.
And they're not usually very accurate, but this is not a game of marksmanship. This is a game of hand grenades, not, so we can get plus or minus 3 or 5%, and you'll be 10 times smarter than any of your neighbors.
Okay, good.
So especially around Christmas time when you have all your friends over, you'll notice big surges in humidity if you have an airtight house. And so this would be the time to start playing with your hygrometer when you're cooking turkey and drinking mead.
Well, thanks, Dr. Straub.
Introducing the Edge. New thinking in thermostat technology with a sleek ultra-thin design. Stacked and unstacked installation options. Easy 2-wire installation. A fully programmable EXP card and customizable designer faceplates. The sleek, modern design combined with the advanced technology of the Edge answers homeowner demand for beauty and brains. Designed for optimum versatility, the Edge can be installed in the stacked method, or to optimize the ultra-thin consumer-appealing design, the Edge's relay pack can be installed at the furnace, shrinking the wall unit to only 0.8 of an inch. The Edge allows optimum control over both temperature and humidity control, or hybrid heat, while eliminating the need to ever pull extra wires again. The square shape of this thermostat provides further flexibility to fit either vertical or horizontal footprints. The fully programmable Edge expansion port, or EXP removable memory card, provides precision comfort control. Using a standard USB port found on any computer, the EXP card does not require any special software. This simple user interface allows for programming of multiple comfort schedules. The card is then inserted into the Edge, which automatically uploads the proper settings. From ultra-modern metallics to subtle leather textures, the customizable designer faceplates of the Edge fit seamlessly into any home decor. However, the Edge is more than just a pretty face. The sleek ultra-thin design combined with the smart programming technology and easy flexible 2-wire installation options of the Edge delivers the perfect combination of beauty and brains. Redefine consumer expectations. Turn to the experts.